that was the biggest struggle of trying to figure out, in my 20s, like, what am I going to do in my life? How am I going to do all of these things? Am I going to go work a sales job? You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to give me the same fulfillment with that. I think tattooing really, really, really opened up just all the doors. I get to do all of these things now. I can do like giveaways and stuff to give back to people. Here's this thing, come get some more tattoos on the house. Like, that's fun. That kid, he's getting into tattooing and learning how to tattoo. That's awesome. I've had people that I've given like relationship advice to. Now they're with somebody and like they're happy. They told me that they took that advice, and like that makes you feel kind of good. I feel like my biggest strength is my heart. Like, I care about everybody, and I want to try to do as best as I can by everybody. And I think that's probably what I love the most, aside from like my relationship with God. Oh, that's nice. Who are you and what do you do? My name is Braden. I'm a tattoo artist in Southside at Externus Tattoo, and I work with Mark and Chase and Jake, all the best guys in the world, and we're going to talk today. How did you get into tattooing, and what do you love about it, and what is your mission? I got into tattooing down in South Carolina. Once I kind of got down there, I didn't really feel like there was a lot of tattoo artists that could do or were doing the things that like I feel like I kind of wanted at the time. And so I actually found a tattoo artist on YouTube, shout out Uzi Tattoo, and I found out that he was self-taught. And I just loved that. And I was like, oh my God, like this guy's so good. Like if he could do this, like I don't know, like I feel like I definitely could do that. So I pretty much just impulsively ordered the kit that night and ordered everything about it. I kind of was up till like, I don't know, like 2 a.m. just like researching stuff, trying to figure out like what I would need, what I didn't need, what was most important, blah blah blah. Watching videos about like the hygiene and stuff, kind of like we talked about, and I just ordered it. I just full send, and it came in, and I immediately began tattooing my legs, and that's pretty much that's where it pretty much started, and I just was still am like obsessed with it. Um, what do I love about it? I originally it was like I enjoyed tattooing and then I enjoyed talking to people, but it's more so morphed now into where it's now I just enjoy talking to people and getting to know everybody from like a really like deep human level. And I enjoy tattooing, and like that's still the important part. But I think people being treated as people instead of just a transaction, I think is like that's like I like that much more. And I think we need more communication and more deep conversations and more like just overall humanity, I think, right now as a whole. So being able to either impact somebody's life or touch somebody's heart, um, in my way, which is through tattooing, that's the only way that I know how to do it through, I guess, on like a bigger scale, to be able to touch more people. Because you don't ever really know like something that you say or do or a perspective that you give or anything like that that can really change a person's entire life. I genuinely think that's the best part, for me. And my mission, this actually kind of dives back to something I think that's very personal for me. I'm a big believer in Christ, and I think that my main mission here is to inspire, to be kind, and to be generous. And I've tried my very, very best to live by those things as best as I possibly can, pretty much most of my life. You know what I mean? I think the generosity aspect comes from my mom used to always tell me to give more than I take. So I try to do that as much as I can. And I think from a kindness perspective, like you have far too many people, I think nowadays that there's a lot of like pessimism, I think, in the world. There's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of bad things going on, I think. And I think if we can all just be a little bit more kind to our neighbor instead of being quick to judge or being quick to, dismiss things or, being quick to dismiss an opportunity to be kind or do something kind for somebody. I think if we just all like took a step back and just kind of like thought about those things a little bit more, probably be better off, honestly. And to inspire, that's a huge one for me. I always felt like I was the kind of person that would inspire people. I like to kind of like not mentor people in a way, but like be a figure. I think sometimes that somebody might need. I have a good example of that. There's a kid right now. He actually was a client of mine. Shout out Talon. I basically just view this kid as like he's like my little brother. Like I love him so much, and I feel like had a lot of potential to do really good with tattooing. And I've been writing him, just absolutely writing him for the last probably year, and he's finally getting into it. He's tattooed himself. He's tattooed me, let him tattoo me, and I'm really trying to help him kind of get into that space because I did it all on my own. You know what I mean? So I feel like somebody like him to be able to kind of just give him a head start in a way and like help him do that. I feel like I've in a way kind of like inspired him, and that makes me feel really good. And I'm really, really excited to see where he goes with that. That'll be so much fun. Mm-hmm. Okay. What brought you here today, and why is vulnerability important? I came today because I feel like number one, this kind of gives people a way to kind of see who I am as a person, let alone, before they come and tattoo. But I think vulnerability as a whole is really important because that allows us, again, to like be able to connect with one another. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be vulnerable all the time. But I think being strong enough to be strong when you need to be strong, and then being able to open up, even if it's to the people that you're absolutely the most comfortable with, whether that's like my girlfriend or my parents or my best friends or whatever. I think still being able to do that, even with those people, is really, really important. Because if you can't do that, then you just end up holding all that stuff, whatever it is. You may have lost somebody, you may have lost your house, you may whatever it is that you have going on, you got cheated on or whatever. Like, you hold all that stuff in and you have nowhere for it to go. A lot of the times that stuff can kind of turn into like negativity, you know what I mean? And you might project those things out in a way, and not necessarily mean to. So definitely being able to like talk about things, open up, show that we're all human because we are human. It's okay to talk about things. You don't have to like drain the life out of people when you're talking about things like that, but you should let that out, and you should do that to people that you're comfortable with, or even sometimes in my case, a lot of clients that do it, and I love it. And if you get it out, you know what I mean? Talk to me. Let's talk about it. We'll talk about it. So yeah, no, I think that's really important for sure. You mentioned experiencing loss throughout your life. Can you talk to me about that? How has loss shaped you into who you are today? So the main one with this one, which is kind of a bummer, I lost my grandfather in 2023, and a couple people prior to that as well. But for me, that was my first particular like big loss. I feel like I was very close to my grandfather, and he would be so proud right now. I feel like he never really got to see me as like a man, like a grown man. And I always talk to him all the time about being successful and handling business, and doing things. And he was unfortunately taken from us in an accident, far too soon, and I never got the chance to see him since I moved to PA. So um, didn't have an opportunity to get back down there or anything like that. So he never got to see this version of me, which I'm pretty bummed out about. But I think at the same time, I know that he's very, very proud, and I got the mustache because of him. You know what I'm saying? No, no, no. He loved this, dude. He loved it. He loved it. If I went there right now and I was like, dude, check it out, look at the stash, dude, he would love it. But he was a very, very big gun collector. He was a very big gun collector. Um, just just a very simple man, but just full of advice, full of love. And I really do wish that I could see him right now, or at least experience this with him, and now I think I have the capabilities to be able to go down and see family more and stuff like that. And I wish I would have done that a little bit more had I had the opportunity to do that. But I think that played a part in tattooing, because when I began doing that was I don't know, it was roughly like whenever I was getting ready to kind of move back to this area a little bit. It just, I feel like, kind of motivated me in a way to say, like, I'm going to embark on this journey, and I'm going to embark on this thing that I feel like I'm really, really good at. And I feel like if I can give this everything that I have, like, I can do him justice in a way, kind of too. In a way, you know what I mean? I felt like there could have been a slight bit of guilt there, from not being able to see him. So in a way, maybe kind of felt like not that I owe it to him to do this thing, but kind of to myself, just to be like, look, I did this thing. You know what I'm saying? And I think he would appreciate that, because anything worth doing is worth doing all the way. Crazy. Is it often that you feel misunderstood? Can you explain? And what do you wish people understood about you? Um, I do feel misunderstood sometimes, but not in the sense that like I'm like, walking around and like, oh, these people just like don't get it. I know we're all going through our own thing. We're all kind of dealing with things. We all have stuff going on, I feel like, in our lives that we don't necessarily have control over and whatnot. But when I say I feel misunderstood, I think it stems from a place of like, I'm a very forgetful person. I get very, very distracted very easily. The ADHD runs very, very strong with this one. But it's not my intention I think I tend to frustrate people a lot. And that can come in many different ways. That can come from just a communication aspect with my friends, my family, my girlfriend. That can stem from, communicating with clients in a timely manner. Sometimes I feel like sometimes I'm always not the best, and I know that. And it's frustrating to me sometimes. However, there are quite a bit of people, so I try, but I just don't want anybody, I think, to think that I'm a lazy person, or that I don't care, or that maybe sometimes people even feel disconnected because I like I said, like, my mom gets on me all the time about it, about like texting back. I'm just atrocious at it. I'm like not good at it. I tend to leave stuff out a lot, like at home, and just, I'm not perfect with it, but I think I think it's mostly just like the forgetfulness, or like the distraction thing. I try to tell people to just be patient. Like, I'm genuinely not, like, not responding or getting back to you because I don't want to. I just haven't gotten there yet, or I genuinely have just forgot. You know what I mean? And I think I want people to kind of take it with a grain of salt a little bit. Maybe I try to be as present as I can be. Like, I'm not trying to be on my phone and stuff all the time. Like, I try to, in fact, like, my screen time's, I'm really impressed with my screen time. Like, my screen time's like 2 hours or something like that. It's pretty good, pretty solid. But I think more so it's like when I try to disconnect from a lot of the things that distract me. And, like, for example, like Instagram, I have to use Instagram. That's what I have to do for my job. So I post, and I have to be able to be on there and do that stuff. But it's when you start stacking like DMs on DMs on DMs. And now I'm kind of blending, like, I just want to hop on Instagram and like look at some things, look at family, look at some stuff that's going on. I try to have my email strictly for like my work and stuff. And I try not to blend those things. I try not to, like, but ultimately it just happened. You know what I mean? So it's really hard for me, I think, sometimes it's probably balance, honestly. I think balance in my life is really difficult for me to accomplish. It's either I'm super duper duper locked into tattooing right now, and all I'm caring about is booking and tattooing, and that's it. And then there's times where I'm like, man, I just need a break, and like I need to relax. And then it's like I'm just not tattooing as much, and then I'm relaxing, or I'm chilling, or I'm doing whatever, instead of having more of kind of like a balance. I think a lot of times I'm a big people pleaser, so it's tough for me to stretch myself very thin for all these different aspects that I feel like I have going on in my life. even though everybody does it, you know what I mean? Like we all do it. I just feel like it's particularly difficult for me sometimes. And I just want people to know I think that like the effort is always there. It's just I'm not always gonna hit, you know what I mean? And I think the people closest around me are the most patient and the most understanding with that. They always have. Shout out Donnie. Shout out Logan. Like those are my best friends. They have dealt with that aspect of me for a very long time. My parents as well. My girlfriend, Godspeed. So yeah, that's that. If your younger self was here with us, what would you say to him? Would you be like, dude, honestly, don't stress out so much, man. For the longest time, I think I was kind of lasered in on trying to have my life figured out, you know what I mean, right away so that I could go and do the things that I wanted to do, like I'm doing right now in a way, right? Where I was talking about like inspiring people and being able to be generous and to be kind. I mean, anybody can be kind, but I thought in my brain at that time, like, I need to go get the best job that I can go and get. I need to make a lot of money so that I can do things for people, and I need to do all of this stuff. And I'm tweaking out about it. And if I can't get there, then I'm a loser. You know what I mean? And that's not necessarily the case. And even if we're talking from like an even younger perspective, I would tell my younger self, I would tell him right now, never lose your light. Do not lose your creativity, and do not like never stop. Like you have to be authentic and you have to be yourself, and people are either going to accept that or people are not going to accept that. And what I've found, especially in my adult life, is that the more authentic and genuine that I am as a person, which, you know, sometimes maybe that can come across as like really full of energy, dude. And it's like, this guy's got a lot. Like, this guy is running on endless reserves. And that can be a lot for some people sometimes. And, you know, I feel like maybe sometimes it can be too. But the people that have been that I appreciate and love the most in this world have been people that have stuck with me, and like they just have accepted me for who I am and how I am, or you know, whatever. And they understand that my brain is a little different. I'm constantly thinking about new things. I'm constantly involved in new activities and hobbies and things that interest me, and I forget to do a design for my best friend, but I love him and I want to go hang out. And it's just all these different things. I feel like that um, when you're younger, sometimes it can kind of feel like I would get in trouble a lot. You know what I mean? I had a lot of energy, and I would got a lot of spankings, dude, and whatever. And then you kind of start to feel like it's this like bad thing, and it's not. It's just that's just who you are. That's what it is. And um, I think I would just tell like younger me, like, dude, just keep on, dude, keep on being you, brother. Like, just keep on doing it. Do not worry about, you know, what other people view of you or think of you or anything like that. Um, and yeah, just keep doing it. Um, this is the if your future self was here with us, what would he tell you to stop holding back? He'd probably tell me to he'd probably tell me to just go ahead and like take the leap of faith again, honestly. Um, like I said, I'm kind of in like this transitional period with my work and with tattooing where I'm kind of trying to transition into a little bit of a different style. And there is definitely a sense of like hesitation in there. Although I do feel capable, I feel like I'm holding myself back by not just taking that leap the same way that I did when whenever I got into this in the first place. Like you're like that risk to a degree has to kind of be there a little bit, and like that challenge has to just be there a little bit, but you have to be confident and comfortable enough that you can execute these things or execute these designs or whatever. But a lot of the times I'm like, yeah, like I can do this thing, and then I'm like, I just don't know. Like, I just don't know if I can do that now. And I think I psych myself out a lot. You know, I feel like I'm far more capable than I give myself credit for, and I think I would really appreciate my future self to tell me that. To be honest, that would be pretty great. I think he would also tell me to stop being so hard on myself with that stuff. I could do the best tattoo that I could be like, dude, this is the greatest tattoo ever. Like, oh my god, like I can't even believe I just did that. And then I go home and I start zooming, dude, and I'm just like, I'm the worst. Like, you see this right now? Like, I'm the worst, and I can't like I can't like do that. You know what I mean? A healthy amount of like discretion for your work is good, but anything past that, you start like hyper fixating on it, it becomes a whole thing. So I need him to kind of like reel me in a little bit. That'd be great, honestly. What is the biggest lesson life is teaching you right now? Patience, I think, is a really big one for me right now. Um, and grace, like for other people. You know, I think like people's ability to be patient with one another at this point in time it's just it's atrocious. And I think for me, I have found a lot less stress in my daily life, a lot less stress in trying to control the things that I can't control. And I've found a lot less stress with communicating with people that I might not necessarily agree with everything on, or they might be doing things that I'm not particularly a fan of or whatever. But I think being able to just like come back and be like, hey, dude, it's all good. Like it's just let them get that out, talk about it, whatever, and then kind of move on. Or just when I'm at the light and the light's been red for 7 minutes and I'm really trying to get to my appointment and I'm just sitting there. I want to be mad. I want to be so mad, but I'm like, the light's red. You know, like we're just gonna go ahead and live our life, dude. It's nothing's bad's gonna happen. Like it's just a red light, dude. It's all good. It's not that big of a deal. Um, Being patient with my friends and stuff. Like I want to spend as much time with my friends as I possibly can. It's really difficult though a lot of the time, just because of our schedules and whatnot. So a lot of times I feel like, you know, maybe a little bit disconnected on my end, but I know that's, you know, it's because I'm working and doing things, and I think they also have patience with me. So I think it's just I kind of picked that up from them in a way, if I'm being honest. Like they're very understanding with like my schedule, and it's kind of all over the place and whatever. And there might be times where we have plans to like hop on the game or something, whatever. And I'm like, like I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna be here till 10 p.m. I can't do it. And I really appreciate, I think, how patient they are with me, and that kind of has inspired me in a way to do that more with other people and in my day to day life, especially with my beautiful girlfriend and my family and all just clients too. Not not every client is you're not always going to be on the same page with things, but being able to have patience and a little bit of grace and just talk through things and kind of give a different perspective and stuff. I think that helps a lot, specifically in this industry, because there can be a lot of people who want, and they don't necessarily care about the process or the way to get to that point, or the cleanliness of the tattoo or application or any of these other things. And you're trying to just explain these things and why they're important, but not totally like destroy their idea at the same time. You know what I mean? You're just trying to kind of maneuver that. And that takes patience. Like you have to be able to like sit there and like calmly be able to like reroute and explain the reasonings behind doing what you're doing. And I think that's been huge in my life in a really positive way. Um, and what are you learning to love about yourself? I think my heart, to be honest with you. I really do feel like I try to live my life in a way where I'm trying to touch as many other people's hearts as I possibly can. When I die, like I will be satisfied with how many people I've impacted. You know what I mean? I think at any given moment, if something were to happen to me, I would be very satisfied with people's lives that I've impacted, even in small ways, in large ways, in whatever, as long as it does. You know what I mean? And I think I'm very happy with, number one, being mindful of that, but also just being in the space and being in the career, I guess, to be able to do that my way. And I think that was the biggest struggle of trying to figure out, in my 20s, like, what am I going to do with my life? Like, how am I going to do all of these things? And I don't have a canal or a path to do this through, like, am I going to go work a sales job? And like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not going to give me I think the same fulfillment with that. And I think tattooing really, really, really opened up just all the doors for all of these different things. Like, I get to do all of these things now. I can do like giveaways and stuff to give back to people, to just thank you so much for like helping me, like coming and getting tattoos and supporting me and even sharing stuff. Like, here's this thing, come get some more tattoos on the house. Like, that's fun. That kid, like being able to, he's getting into tattooing and learning how to tattoo. That's awesome. I've had people that I've given like relationship advice to or whatever, and like now they're with somebody and like they're happy, and like they told me that they took that advice, and like that makes you feel kind of good. And that lets me know that I feel like my biggest strength is my heart. And I think I genuinely try to, like, I really actually I care about everybody. Um and I want to try to do as best as I can by everybody. And I think that's probably what I love the most, aside from like my relationship with God. I feel like I get a lot of my morals and a lot of, um just how I want to treat people, like from that. And I think it's working out. I think it's working out great. So, yeah. How has it felt to be seen in this way today? Biggest takeaway, and any final thoughts? I think it's good. I think it makes me feel really nice because I obviously I can't talk to everybody all at once. You know what I mean? And I feel like this is a really good opportunity to just kind of let people in on who I am and how I am. And it feels good to kind of just ramble. Honestly, it kind of feels nice to just get it out and talk and just say things. And hopefully in some type of way, like this even can inspire somebody else. I'm very like, I've never done this before. Like, this is a very new experience for me. This is me stepping out of my comfort zone. But I think it goes back to like that leap of faith and like that risk, and kind of just doing things that you're not fully comfortable with, or you wouldn't fully be comfortable with, and then you grow from those things, So I think this has been excellent. I think this is wonderful. And I think the biggest takeaway from this, I think if I could like offer any type of anything to anybody or anything like that, would genuinely be to just like take a leap of faith, dude, with whatever it is that you love, like whatever you're passionate about. Like, you're doing something that you're passionate about. You love doing this, and I imagine that makes you feel really good. I know that it doesn't feel like work. I know that, sometimes I think people just need to bet on themselves a little bit more. I really do believe that. So, whoever watches this, genuinely just like go do something that you want to go do. Like, go if you dude, if you're like the you want to start a knitting business, dude, start a knitting business. You should do it. If you want to go play sports again, or you want to go do whatever, go do it. You want to be a digital artist, dude, just do it. Like, I feel like that's like the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing, is people need to bet on themselves a little bit more, and they need to do it with 400% effort. And they'd be so surprised. They'd be so surprised at how capable they are. Anybody can do anything that they put their mind to and that they want to do. You just have to take the leap of faith, genuinely. Um, Final thoughts. I think pretty much hit it. I'm very glad that I got to be here today, and I'm very glad that I got to talk about these things. I hope maybe some of these things help somebody. And if not, then dude, I don't know, maybe I made you laugh once or twice. That'd be sick. But yeah, I think today was great. Yeah, I was nervous for no reason. I was, yeah, zero reason. There's no reason to be nervous at all. That's crazy.